He had like poltergeist activity, banging doors, a massive apparition appearing to him. Properly terrifying stuff.
Well, this is very interesting, especially based off what we've been talking about recently on the show, because now we are joined by Danny Robbins, podcast creator, who is the man behind Uncanny. I Know What I Saw. Danny, welcome. First of all, for anybody who hasn't heard this podcast or seen your TV work, what is Uncanny I Know What I Saw all about?
It is about ghosts. Uncanny is something that started a few years back. It's a BBC podcast I've been doing. It went on to become a BBC Two TV series as well. And it's basically ordinary people telling me about experiences that could be paranormal. So like really strange, unsettling moments, ghostly apparitions, poltergeists, all sorts of things. We also branch into UFOs and strange beasts and all manner of stuff. And it's kind of gripping human drama, I guess. And whether you're a believer or a skeptic, these are little moments in people's lives when just the weird happens.
Gee, sounds great, Danny. I do have to ask you, are you a believer or are you a skeptic?
It's a really good question. I always say I'm a skeptic who wants to believe. I would love it to be true. I haven't yet drunk the Kool-Aid. I haven't had my own experience that would send me over the edge, I think. But I can't find easy answers for these stories that I'm told. And I think that's the closest I come to believing, basically. I've spent my whole life wanting to see something. And now I think, be careful what you wish for, because the stories that people tell me are properly freaky dooky.
We've been talking a lot about ghost stories on this show just by chance. What is the scariest ghost story you've come across while doing the podcast?
Well, they really range from like proper full-on horror movie scary. There was one set in a University Hall of Residence in Belfast, in a particular room of this hall. It was Allenbrook Hall in Belfast, and it was room 611. And this guy called Ken had an experience there. He was a science student, very sensible guy, but he had like poltergeist activity, banging doors, a massive apparition appearing to him, properly terrifying stuff. And then we discovered that people the year before and the year after in the same room had also had experiences. So that sends a chill down your spine. But I think, there's other ones. There's one where a woman lost a very close friend of hers and then felt that she saw her again as a ghost. And then many years later went to see a medium, thought the medium was totally rubbish, but the medium came up to her and said the exact dying words that her friend had said. And that's scary in another way, I think, because that sort of totally changes your whole concept of reality and makes you think, well, maybe this is all real.
The thing is, Danny, I'm a bit of a believer. Graham would be a bit more of a skeptic, but we both agree that we wouldn't want to use a Ouija board.
No,
Have you ever used one, Danny?
Ouija board is this big threshold, isn't it? You can be as skeptic as you like, but you won't go near a Ouija board. I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. We did a case, our new Uncanny series, Uncanny USA, which has just come out. The first case was about a Ouija board, a set in Georgia, in rural Georgia in the States. This Ouija board from New Orleans, from his aunt's voodoo shop, if you like. How about that? And he uses it and all hell breaks loose, and it's properly terrifying. And I'm really nervous about them, even though I sort of feel like on paper, these things shouldn't work. It's just a bit of cardboard. It's a bit of wood. But no, I definitely think there's some kind of taboo element that you feel like you're opening a Pandora's box. You don't want to go there.
Nathan, you brought it up last week on the show, and we've been investigating ourselves during the week. But Danny, do you feel there's something in children can see ghosts? We've been getting a lot of stories about children talking to maybe dead relatives. And we had one specific story where there was a child that just moved into a new farmhouse and she was talking to herself, but she said two names very clearly. And when the mother went to investigate the names, they were the two farmers that used to own the farmhouse.
Years ago.
Years ago. So she would have had no clue. Have you come across any childlike beings that can see spirits?
Yeah, I love stories like that. I'm just instantly, I've got a shiver down my spine when you told me that. I think it's really interesting. And yes, we have. There's one case we're just doing this week for Uncanny USA, which involves children and children witnessing scary stuff like things flying across rooms and a child who says that they see a bad man in the house. So, there's definitely something there, I think. And you could look at it from children being receptive. If you're a skeptic, you might look at it from children being more imaginative. But I think there are moments in our lives when we are more open. And the other group of people I get a lot of messages from is students. Like, I think there's a period in your life when you're a student and you've just moved away from home, and maybe like you're hit by anxieties and stuff like that, but also you are very open to the world, I think. And I get so many stories of ghostly happenings in like student houses or in halls of residence as well. So maybe it's something about being youthful. As you get older, you kind of close yourself off from the world, perhaps.
Danny, I also need to pick your brain because you created the West End play 222. And I'm very intrigued by this because I don't really know what it's about. But what intrigued me was Cheryl from Girls Aloud starring in it. And it's coming over to the board, gosh, and Laura Whitmore and Jay from The Wanted is starring in this. Like, what is it about? Do you need to have acting credentials in the background, or like, can you explain what the show is?
I can, yeah. It's coming to 3 Olympia, yeah, from 20th of June, and it's basically, it is a play about that kind of distills all of my feelings about, do ghosts exist, that tussle between skepticism and belief. And it's about a couple, Jenny, the woman, who believes that there is a ghost in her house and it appears at 2:22 every night, and her husband Sam, who's a rampant skeptic, just does not believe. And she kind of forces him to stay up one night while they've got 2 friends over, and just to see if this ghost exists. And it becomes a real kind of taut psychological thriller, quite frightening, but also funny, I think, exploring the subject from this idea of this kind of explosive thing in a couple's relationship. But yeah, it kicked off. We had Lily Allen was our first Jenny, and then we've had Cheryl. Laura Whitmore has played Jenny. She's now playing Lauren, one of the other roles in the Dublin production. So she's kind of played both the female roles now. But yeah, I think, I feel like theatre is expensive. Theatre is a lot of money now. And, we try and keep our costs as low as possible. But it's a big deal to go out, and you want to get your money's worth. You want to see people you're excited about. You want to see people that you care about, who you've in some cases grown up with and love and have this big connection with. So seeing somebody like a Lily Allen or a Cheryl or a Laura Whitmore doing something differently, brilliantly is exciting, I think. We know they're brilliant pop stars or presenters, but seeing them acting brilliantly is just exhilarating and exciting. And so, yeah, I can't wait for the show to be over in Dublin. Uncanny and 222 will be on at the same time in Dublin, excitingly.
Well, busy summer for you, Danny. We want to thank you for coming on the show. It's been great to chat to you. Thank you so much, Danny. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Hey, Danny. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks a lot.